the injury situation, and we are out of players, guys. We're almost out of players. It hasn't been a great 2 weeks, obviously, dropping points against Brighton, then Merino getting injured in training, then international break. I'm actually one of those people who are like, I actually don't mind an international break so that our players recover. The ones who are injured and the ones who are out, the Gabriel Jesuses and Tomiyasus of this world. But the international break, the truth is, your players can also get injured during that. And unfortunately, we've lost Calafiori during the international break playing for Italy, and we've lost Odegaard playing for Norway. And if you had to ask me one player that I never ever want to get injured, obviously it's everyone that's Arsenal, but the one player that I'm always really scared of him getting injured, it's Odegaard. Like, Odegaard getting injured, it doesn't obviously fare well for us at all. What he does for the team, I don't think anyone can do what Odegaard does for us. And seeing him in tears yesterday and earlier today, obviously he was walking. He had to use crutches pretty much. So that is not a good sight. So we'll be talking about all that. It hasn't been a great couple of weeks, obviously. So let's start with Odegaard, obviously, the captain of the team, and what it means for us. So Odegaard doesn't really get injured. Like last season, he missed maybe 2 games. The previous season, he missed maybe a couple. I remember me missing a Brentford game and all that, but he's always there. Like, he's a player we always depend on. Champions League, Premier League, you can even throw him in an FA Cup game, Carabao Cup game. Like, it's very important, and he knows how to manage. I feel like he knows how to manage his minutes and manage his load in terms of playing time and how he plays during the game, so he can play multiple games in a row without getting tired, Martin Odegaard, and he can play 90 minutes all the way through. As all other players are getting subbed off, he can play on the entire 90 minutes. And for what he does for us in terms of creativity, in terms of the pressing from the front, in terms of leadership, is our captain. His connection on the right side with Ben White and Saka, like his connection with Havertz as well, those through balls and everything. I don't think there's anyone else who can do what Odegaard does. But as of now, Odegaard is injured, and you have to find a way to do it. The injury looked very bad. As I said, he's on crutches. This was not a good injury. I was watching the game live, and right away I dropped my phone. I was like, oh no, don't tell me it's a serious injury. And then when you see the replay, it obviously is a serious injury, and it could take a lot of time. Now, we are hoping he's definitely not going to play against Tottenham this weekend, maybe not even against Atalanta, maybe not even against Man City. So our best hope, listen, if he recovers and you're told that actually it's just 1 week, God is with us. The football gods are with us. If he ends up missing a week or 2, the football gods are with us. But realistically, if I was to pinpoint how long he's going to miss right now, I'm not a doctor, obviously, I would say we're looking at something like 2 months. Now, I'm not a doctor. As I said, it could be a 2-week injury, it could be a 6-month injury. Now, 6 months, 5 months is at that is a wild extent. Like, if that is the case, then you're in trouble. But we are hoping, best case scenario, he misses maybe these games that are coming up before the next international break, and then after the next international break, he comes back. So we are looking at him missing Man City, Tottenham, Atalanta, PSG, Bolton, Leicester, and I think Southampton at home. Leicester and Southampton at home. So you're looking at him missing potentially 7 games. Now, it could be longer than that, but we have to find a way to get through those games without Odegaard. Now, unfortunately, Merino is also injured, another player who could have helped us in midfield, and another freak injury. The fact that Calafiori was injured playing for Italy, Odegaard was injured playing for Norway, Merino was injured in training, even Jesus, I think, was injured in training, didn't really see him getting injured on the pitch. Like, it's crazy, and Declan Rice is suspended, so all of that is not good news for us at all. We are basically losing our entire midfield. Who knows? Maybe Ateta's plan was to play Merino, Odegaard, and Declan Rice against Tottenham and Man City in midfield. We don't have all 3 of those players against Tottenham. Now, the positives from that is Rice will be back for the Atalanta game and for the Man City game, and we'll have one position sorted. But for the Tottenham game, we have to find a way to win that game, because, listen, draws, you can argue, not bad. I did say at the beginning of the season, if we can get something like 30 wins, 4 draws, 4 losses, that is 94 points. Someone said 4 losses is too much. You can say that, but that takes it to a total of 94 points. I think that should be enough to win the league. Maybe even less, maybe even 29 wins, 5 draws and 4 defeats or something. But whenever if you can change a loss to a draw, that will help you. Like last season, if you had drawn against Newcastle instead of losing that game away from home, if you had drawn against Fulham away from home instead of losing that game 2-1, just a couple of draws instead of defeats, you'd have won the league. Man City only lost 3 games last season. They drew a lot. Man City drew with us, they drew with Tottenham, they drew twice with Chelsea, they drew I think twice with Liverpool. So Man City drew a lot of games last season, but they still won the league because they didn't lose a lot. So if you can't win the game, don't lose. And that is why against the Brighton, never really did a review for the Brighton game. I was sick during that time, been sick the whole week, but I'm okay now. So that particular game, I was okay with the draw rather than losing the game. It could have been a win if we took our chances, but as long as you don't lose that game, make sure you pick up that point. It can help you a lot. So against Tottenham, you can argue your draw is not that bad, but as of now, Man City is already 2 points ahead of us. And if you draw against Tottenham, you expect Man City to win their game over the weekend. That will be 4 points ahead of us. And then we are facing them the next week after that. Now, going into that game, you either go 2 ways. Either you go and try and win that game and you drop that down to 1 point, or you go into that game and try and get a draw and keep it at 4 points. Because if you end up losing to Man City, 7 points, that is a lot. So I still feel like we can get through the Tottenham game with the score that we have. The Man City game, we'll have to find a way, maybe go and get another draw. I don't think we lost the league last season because we drew with Man City. That was not the case. It was because of those games against Aston Villa and Fulham in those games. It is not because we drew against Man City. So we have to find a way to get into that period without losing any games. Even if you pick up a couple of draws, don't lose any games. Don't give Man City a big advantage. And then hopefully, maybe after we get past the 3 games, this away games this coming week, then we can start going on a winning run, because it doesn't get easy. There's a week where we'll have Liverpool, I think Newcastle, Chelsea as well next month or something. But you have to pull through. We're waiting to hear how long Odegaard will be out for. Hopefully it's not that long, because he's a player we definitely need in the team. And now, like, we're in very crazy situation now with Merino out as well. Partey has just played 2 games for Ghana, 90 minutes in both of them. How many more games can he play? How many more games can he hold out for? If Partey goes down again today, we're in trouble, even more trouble, because now we are really, really out of options. But we do have other players who can cover. Others that could have covered are not there, or someone like a Calafiori. I don't know if he's going to be fit for that game. Maybe he'd have helped us in midfield, but he's not there. So we have other solutions. I still think we can beat Tottenham even with the squad we have, but we'll have to do other things. So maybe, some people have said plays Zinchenko in midfield. Our defense is still very good. We can still keep a clean sheet even without Odegaard in the team, without Merino in the team. We can still keep a clean sheet. Saliba is there. Gabriel is there. He's made a couple of mistakes, but I'm sure he's going to be okay. Ben White is still there. Timber is there. He went down with an injury as well against Brighton, and I was very worried. But you have defenders there who can play. Tomiyasu, I don't know when he's going to come back. So you can either play a 4-2-3-1, go back to the traditional, number 10 with 2 pivots behind him, double pivot. You can have maybe Jorginho and Partey both starting. Then you have a Trossard as a number 10. Now we'll need players to step up. Now, I don't want to put too much pressure on one area. I don't want to throw him in against Tottenham or Man City. Obviously, there's other ways you can approach that. You can, if you want to keep the same formation, we can have because Rice will be back for the next game. So you're just focusing on the Tottenham game. After the Tottenham game, Rice will be back in the number 8 position. Then we'll play Partey, Jorginho in the 6, and then we'll have to find who we're going to play in the number 10. Whether it's going to be Trossard, whether it's going to be Sterling some games. Are we going to try Saka there? Nwaneri there a couple of games? Is it going to be Havertz back to the number 10 position like he was back at Leverkusen? Gabriel Jesus is back in training, so that is good news. But that will probably mean Havertz back in midfield, or it could also mean, now Sterling, there's players who are going to have to step up. Martinelli has to step up for sure, because if, let's say, since Odegaard is out, we'll have to use someone in that position. Let's say it's Trossard, so we've lost someone on the left side, so it's just going to be Martinelli. So Sterling will have to back up both Martinelli and Saka. And if Jesus is not ready to play a couple of more games, we are going to need Havertz or Sterling up front for this for this Tottenham game. Let's say if it's Sterling, we'll need Sterling to play really well for us. We'll need Sterling to hit the ground running. We'll need Martinelli to start performing. And when Jesus is back, he can play as a forward player some games, and he can also back up Saka on the right side, maybe back up Martinelli on the left side, maybe some games start. So it's a difficult situation. I still think you have players there, because how many players are those? Martinelli, Sterling, Trossard, Saka, Gabriel, Jesus, Havertz. I mean, there's players there. We can still score goals. We can still get through those games. I mean, it's unfortunate that it has happened when we have 3 away games in a week, and those 3 away games are against Tottenham, North London derby, against Atlanta, the Europa League holders, and against Man City, the Premier League champions. It's a tough week, obviously. So we will need to depend on our defense a lot this week, and any chances that we get, we need to be putting them away. Like against Brighton, you could easily have won that game if Havertz or Saka scored their chances. So we'll need to take our chances. Against Tottenham last season, we scored 3 goals in the first half. We dominated. We didn't dominate the game, but in terms of counter-attacking, all that, we took our chances, went forward, transitioned very well, and scored goals. So let's hope we can win that Tottenham game. If we get through that Tottenham game without Odegaard, without Merino, without all of those guys, the fans will feel better, because if you end up losing that game and you have Man City next up, he'll be 4, how many points? He'll be 5 points behind Man City before you play them. That would be a disaster. So you're pretty much looking for, don't lose against Tottenham. If possible, win the game, and if possible, the next week, try and get a draw against Man City. Then we'll see how it goes. But there's solutions. We can play a 4-2-3-1, Jorginho and Partey. We can play, obviously, Trossard as a 10, maybe you can try Sterling as a 10 and Nwaneri as a 10. We can do all that. We can change the formation if you want Zinchenko in midfield. Depends on how you're going to approach it. But yes, people have talked about the transfer window. Did we do enough? I was very shocked when Vieira left. I thought it was going to be one of them, Vieira and Smith. I didn't think it was going to be both of them. The Vieira one, personally, I wouldn't have let go of Vieira after Smith had gone. I would have the first one, I wanted Smith to stay anyway at the beginning of the transfer window, but I think the 34 million we're getting is okay. So I would have kept Vieira just to have numbers there, not even in terms of quality. I don't think anyone can replace Odegaard. I don't think there's anyone who can match up to what he does. But in terms of numbers, in terms of not having to play Saka every single game and having to play Havertz every single game, we would have needed Vieira to be there. It would have been a good opportunity for him right now to step up against a Tottenham, step up against an Atalanta, and do the job in the number 10 position. Right now, we don't have a specialist number 10 apart from Odegaard, so we'll have to switch things around. We'd have to either play Trossard there or change the formation, play both Jorginho and Partey. I think we can get through the Tottenham game, even the Atalanta one. The Man City one is the one that I'm like, Declan Rice is going to be back for that one, so that is great. But whoever plays the number 10 for these coming games, he'll need to do a lot, because it's not easy up against Tottenham, up against Man City, up against Atalanta. It's not going to be easy, but it's unfortunate. Let's wait and see how long Odegaard will be out for. Best case scenario, best case scenario, a 1 week injury. I don't expect it. To 1 month, maybe. That, I think that is the best case scenario, because it could easily be 3 months. Uncle Spain, you could be told, hey, 3 months out, and that would be a disaster. So we have to keep on pushing. Nothing we can do. Yes, we didn't do enough in the transfer window. You should have had another forward player there, just to have increase in numbers and increase in quality. But as of now, this is the squad that we have. We're only 2 points behind Man City. The league has just started. Champions League has not even started. Carabao Cup has not started. FA Cup has not started. We can't just throw away all our toys out of the pram right away. No, we have to use what we have until Odegaard comes back, and keep pushing until we get to the January transfer window, and hopefully you're still in the title race and you can do something in the January transfer window. But as of now, all the best to Odegaard, Calafiori. Hopefully they recover as soon as possible. We need them in the team, and it's just a disaster. Like this pains me so much. This is a disaster. I would have loved to see, if Merino's in the team, would we have used him as a number 10? With Rice in midfield and Partey, is that what you'd have used? But let me know in the comments, what would you like to see? Would you like to see Saka being used in number 10? Would you like to see Nwaneri against Tottenham and Man City? Would you like to see who else? Trossard, Havertz is a number 10. And this Tottenham game, now the Tottenham game, Man City game, Atlanta game will be different, because Rice will be back for the other two, so he'll have someone playing the number 8. But for this Tottenham game specifically, what would you do? Would you start Sterling now as the number 10 and start also with Martinelli and Havertz and Saka? Would you start Trossard? What would be a front 5? Like after Partey, the front 5, what would be a front 5? But we are back. Hopefully we get good news regarding this injury. It's just sad, man. I'm just sad. And again, last point, Havertz still has to play tonight. Rice still has to play tonight. Saka still has to play tonight. Everyone else was subbed off in the England game. Rice played 90 minutes. Saka played 90 minutes. So, yeah, we also need to start pulling out of our players from international because Foden did not go. Palmer did not go. I think Van der Ven did not go to play for Tottenham. We also need to be doing that. I know these players love to play for their countries, but at the end of the day, we are Arsenal supporters. I'm not a Germany supporter. I'm not a Ghana supporter. I am not a Norway supporter. I'm not an England supporter. I care about us, so I care about the players playing for us, not really for the international teams, because listen, we want to win big things and we need our players to be there, and our players always play 90 minutes and it's a bummer, really. It's a real bummer. So let me know about that. Thank you for watching and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.